So, 2 weeks is definitely a more realistic schedule for these videos. I got called into work again last Monday, um, but the other receptionist promises that she won't get sick again. Um, yeah, so it's okay. I'm not mad at her about it or anything. It's just that's how things seem to work out. Um, my mental state goes up and down. A little stressed between wedding planning and politics. I have unfollowed some of the people that were bothering me on Facebook. I mean, it was bothering me to see their posts. They weren't doing anything directly, um, comment wise, to bother me. I've I've gotten through life with remarkably little direct harassment for sexual orientation or gender orientation, at least thus far. Um, I've been very lucky that way. I guess I'm in a somewhat progressive area, even though I'm on the East Coast and technically in the South. Um, but I did get picked on a lot as a kid, but it was kind of undefinable as to why. Just something about me was different. Um, Not quite sure what to talk about for this particular video. I need a haircut badly. Still going to the gym. Definitely noticing vocal changes. Uh, my my head voice. I don't know if when I'll ever be able to make a proper head voice video because right now my head voice is shot. Um, Definitely officially. What little of my head voice I can do sounds more like a falsetto rather than a woman's voice now. Which, I'm not mourning it that much, but it's unexpected how fast that's happened. So, and I did not intend to lose my head voice the way that I have, but I knew it was a possibility. Um, my speaking voice, I don't know that it's that much lower pitched, but there's some intangible quality that sounds more masculine now, and I have no idea what to label that. Um, but there are definitely subtle clues that we may or may not have words for that delineate a man's voice from a woman's voice. And obviously there are exceptions for everyone. I've met cisgender women who have a deeper voice than I do. And certainly there are a lot of cisgender guys who have a higher voice than I do. I am not and never have been a tenor. I have sang next to real tenors, and their break is higher than mine has ever been, even before T. So, everybody's voice is different. So, if you are a trans guy and you don't have a deep voice, you have a higher voice, that's okay. I mean, like I said, there's cisgender guys out there whose speaking voices are way higher than mine. Their band that I really like, Steam Powered Giraffe, the twins that form that band, one of them, whose character I really liked, the Spine, he's kind of their bass man, but I'm listening to him sing, and I think he's a natural tenor, or maybe a baritone, but possibly a tenor, who's just managed to work his lower range to the point where he can kind of do the bass man stuff, but that's not his natural inclination. And his natural speaking voice, when he's not putting on a character, not putting on a role, sounds about like mine or maybe higher. So there's all kinds of differences out there. Physically, not a lot of changes from the last video. Just my arms are a work in progress, but stuff's happening. My mood definitely has a lot to do with politics and environmental stress. I I've never had any regrets on starting T. I regret that this is a bad time politically to transition, politically and socially. But that's really the only reservation I have. As far as my internal feeling, I'm okay with it. My parents are definitely struggling with it, which is going to be real interesting when they're physically here for the wedding. And meanwhile, my in-laws are just sweeping along with the change, and they're fantastic. We would not be having a wedding if they were not helping substantially to pay for that. I'm not a millennial. I'm not sure I'm technically a Gen Xer either. I fall into that weird little crack in between. I was born in 1978. For anyone out there who's better at math than me, that might tell you how old I am. Although I get a lot of comments that I look younger. Not just as a trans guy, but as a woman, people thought I looked younger too. I've had a lot of people tell me I'm not a millennial, but socioeconomically, me and my girlfriend do seem to fall into that slot a lot. But I don't know. I've met other people around my age that do. So maybe the millennial label is really less of a generational thing than people would like to think, and more of a socioeconomic phenomena. It's like, you know, my girlfriend and I both work full-time jobs at certainly above minimum wage, and we're still in debt with her student debt and my medical debt from the past year. We're in the hole. And if we weren't in the hole, we're just scraping by, making enough for our, you know, our rent and utilities and the basics that we need. And there do seem to be a lot of older generation, more settled people who don't understand that can be the case. That you can be doing everything right and still be struggling, or everything right by what they think that you should be doing. So, yeah, I mean, we struggle, we get by, but if it wasn't for the generosity of my in-laws, future in-laws, that would not be the case. They kept us from being homeless for a while there when we both lost our jobs. So, yeah, I'm all over the place mentally. Partly that's stress, partly that's the ADD. Partly that's poor planning on my part before this video, but I wanted to get something out there because I do want to keep doing this. I do see a therapist because you're supposed to see a therapist. A lot of endocrinologists won't see you for transgender, for testosterone, for going through the medical gender change process without also having a therapist on hand. And that's, you know, in case there are any surprises, any secondary stresses, you know, that result out of that transition. I haven't had those. My therapist, it seems like we mostly end up talking about environmental stressors and politics. But it's, you know, it's good to have somebody on hand. Yeah, I should have planned this out better. But yeah, the therapist encouraged me, once I told her that I was making these videos, she was like, you know, you should keep doing that, that's the thing. Like I've said before, I'm putting these out there for other people to see. I kind of hope there might be other FTMs that see it. I don't know. I don't really get comments. But it's also for the purpose of me being able to look back historically at where I've been mentally and emotionally in my transitioning process. And physically. Initially I started it because I wanted to catalog the vocal changes, And I was talking because I wanted to capture my speaking voice as well as my singing voice. But yeah, even talking to the air to an invisible audience probably is therapeutic in its way. If anyone has any questions, any comments, anything you'd like me to talk about, feel free to comment. I do look for those. And I will respond to those in future videos if I get them. But yeah, I'm not the greatest public speaker, obviously. So, since I don't have a lot to say this week, I'll just go on to the song. And I have tried recently singing the song that I sang in my very first T video the week before Easter, and I'm definitely noticing a difference. But I kind of want to save it for when I hit that 1 year mark to do a video then and see where my progress is at, what the difference in sound is. Anyways, this one I'm not sure who wrote it. I know Jim Henson sang it. It's from Fraggle Rock, but it's a little harder to track down the original songwriter credits for stuff like that. So, anyways, music grows in the rose, rock in the rain and the blowing snowstorm. Everything seems to sing everywhere I go. I say 1, 2, play me do. Let me sound as sweet as you. Play me wide, play me long. Let me be your song. Play me down on the ground. Song comes singing from the midnight places. Raise me high in the sky. Song comes drifting through. I say 1, 2, play me do. Let me sound as sweet as you. Play me wide, play me long. Let me be your song. Play me high, play me low. Play me where the wild wind's blowing. Play me wide, play me long. Play me for your song. I say 1, 2, play me do. Let me sound as sweet as you. Play me wide, play me long. Let me be your song. I did have to practice that one a little bit because the higher notes, but that's hitting about the upper edge of what sounds good right now. I have been trying to work my upper range a little bit in the hopes that I can get some of it back and not lose it, which is actually something that I've had to do in the past because the upper edge of my singing, my chest voice, has always been a little bit of a struggle because my natural chest voice is deeper than might have been expected for a girl. Go figure. Anyways, this video is a little shorter than some of the previous ones, but like I said, not a lot to say this week. Till next 2 weeks or so, hope everyone out there is safe and as happy as you can be. Till next time.